Friend of the show, June, she's of the YouTube channel Shoe on Head. She went to a Trump event in D.C. It was the Trump event. It was the one that became what I call a diet coup or an attempted insurrection. She was there before shit really popped off, and she went there with one simple question. She wanted to ask all these hardcore Trump supporters, what do you think about burning the flag? Should burning the American flag be illegal? Now, it's a long video. I'll leave it in the video description box. If you want to watch it, you should watch the entire thing. Again, check in the video description box for that. But let me show you a little portion of it, and then we'll talk about it.
I went into the lion's den for 2 days with one simple question. Do you think burning the American flag should be legal?
I would say, no.
No, I do not.
I think it's treason. No.
No? I do not believe that it should be legal. However, asterisk, I believe in freedom of speech.
First Amendment, absolutely. However,
Hell no.
Well, no. It's not very patriotic.
You can't burn any flag. It's disrespectful to everybody.
Okay.
Well, of course not. It's a sacred article.
Boy Scouts, I learned that to retire a flag, you burn it. So I don't think it's like inherently wrong.
I think that's blasphemy. I will judge you, but I don't think you should be arrested.
I would have no respect for the person who did that, but I don't think you should get a crime and put them in jail for it.
Should it be legal to burn the American flag?
I believe in the First Amendment.
Yeah.
So I would not do it, but I would support the right for somebody to do it.
I think when you make it illegal, you're going down a slippery slope.
I believe that as a First Amendment right, that you do have the right to burn the American flag, and I'm a veteran.
Oh, okay.
It disgusts me that people that do.
Do you think it should be legal to burn the American flag?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Because the Constitution says you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want free speech censored at all.
I mean, it's a First Amendment issue. Somebody wants to burn it. I suppose I support the right. I served in the military to support people's rights to do a lot of weird things that I don't agree with.
No.
No?
No, I've served in the military. That's not what I served for.
It's a free country. People want to do something, then it's their right to do it as long as you're not hurting other people.
I don't care what you do.
Trump 2020 on YouTube. It should not be legal. Not in this country.
Definitely not.
No?
Never burn the person that burns the flag.
Absolutely not.
That was interesting. That was fascinating. One of the last ones was the most problematic one. You should burn the person who burns the flag. So again, you're just seeing a little sampling here. She talked to way more people. Video description box. Check it out. Check out the full video. Very interesting. So I asked her what percentage of the people were for making it illegal and what percentage said it's a First Amendment free speech issue. We got to go hands off even if we don't like it. She said about 70% of the Trump supporters wanted it to be illegal in one form or another. You know, and the answers were all over the map. So some of them were like, yes, it should be illegal, but it should be a fine. Some were, yes, it should be illegal, but it should be a year in jail. Some said 10 years in jail. Some said the death penalty. So the list goes, on and on. Every position you could think of is a position that was espoused. Now, funny enough, what I did is I looked up polling on this because I do remember when this became a big issue, Trump casually said during a rally that we should make it illegal. You should be in prison. You should have jail time if you burn the American flag. So Trump casually said that in a rally, and so it was sort of injected back into the discourse. This was probably in, 2018 or something like that. I think it was right around the time, too, that the Kaepernick thing was happening where he wanted somebody fired. He wanted Kaepernick fired for kneeling in peaceful protest, which, again, deeply against the principle of free speech. But even with Trump in the government trying to push a private company to do something, to fire somebody because of their freedom, you could argue that might even be against the First Amendment, the legality of the First Amendment, not just the principle of free speech. So I looked it up. 49% of the country says that burning the American flag should be illegal. That's amazing to me, that it's that high for the entire country. And 67% of Republicans say that it should be illegal, and they say the punishment should be it gets you your citizenship stripped. That if you burn the American flag, your citizenship should be taken away. Again, 67% of Republicans say that. So that's interesting because, again, she said 70% of the people she spoke to said it should be illegal in one form or another. So in other words, the numbers check out. You know, that like what she went to this Trump event and it actually was an accurate sample size for when you do a broader poll with way more people. So listen, that's really interesting. She goes on to point out in the video that this is a settled issue. It's a settled issue in the sense that it's been litigated. The Supreme Court has ruled on it. And I agree with what the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court, even many of the conservatives on the Supreme Court basically said, hey, I don't like it. I don't have to like it. But the fact of the matter is, it's free speech because it's symbolism. So, you know, this country, the way it should be is that as long as you're not hurting somebody else, you should be able to do whatever you want. You know, as long as you're not physically hurting somebody else, you should be able to do whatever you want. And, you know, I would stretch that principle even further. I think you should be able to put whatever drug into your body you want to put in your body. I think we should have physician-assisted suicide, so you have the right to die. If you have some terrible terminal illness and you're in pain every day, the idea that the state can force you to keep living in pain, I think that's barbaric. I think in many ways we treat our pets in a more civilized fashion than we treat grandma and grandpa. Sorry, I think that's the case. So this is just such a great example of that principle in action, which is if you're burning the American flag, it's obviously symbolic speech and you're not hurting anybody. So of course you should be allowed to do it. And the fact that there was one person who she talked to, I don't know if you saw it in the video, but there was somebody wearing some sort of article of clothing or something that said like the Constitution or the First Amendment on it. And she pointed out like that was one of the guys who said it should be illegal to burn the American flag. So that's the frustrating thing, is that there's so many examples of people who love the iconography and like the feeling of America, and they want to act like they're the most patriotic and most principled. But then when push comes to shove in terms of their actual beliefs, they're quite authoritarian and quite anti-American. And that's absurd. I mean, it's annoying. It's stupid. Like, really? You care so deeply about America and our principles and the Constitution, but you don't understand, you know, one of the major First Amendment cases in this country's history, and you don't understand that that does equal free speech, and that so people are allowed to do it whether or not you like it. It's just so, it's hypocritical too. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. But anyway, really interesting video. Again, check it out in video description box if you want to watch the whole thing. I got to tell you guys, I really like these on the ground, talking directly to people style videos because it's interesting. It's interesting. And the other thing is she did nothing misleading. Like, I do get the sense that some outlets would have asked all these people and then only taken the worst answers and showed them as if everybody at the Trump rally gave the worst possible answer. But she asked, and yeah, 30% of them were reasonable, you know? And so I think that's an important piece of information in context. Because if you just show the negative stuff, it's like you get this misleading feeling that everybody at the Trump rally wants to execute anybody who burns the flag, and that's just not true. An uncomfortably high number of them do want to do that, but it's not all of them, and that's the point. So anyway, it's great in that it's also not edited and not Weasley in any way, shape, or form. But I like this format. I like when you go talk to regular people, and it doesn't have to be at a Trump rally. It could be, you know, could have been at a Bernie rally. It could be at a Biden rally. It could be whatever, just to hear what people think about these things, because it's interesting. It's something that, you know, I could do all day long.